I'm Laurel and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share with you our family's current favorite recipe for lasagna. This was originally a recipe we got elsewhere, then we have tweaked it quite a bit to the point where it now fits within our goals and the foods that we like. In our family, we prefer cottage cheese to ricotta cheese, so you'll see that. There is no reason that you couldn't use ricotta cheese in this recipe. You may just have to adjust the recipe slightly so that you can use ricotta cheese. The points that I have listed for this will be for all of the ingredients that I use, but definitely put this into your recipe builder to get the exact points for the things that you use. I'd love for you to take a moment and like this video. It really helps my videos find other people, and I really appreciate that. Also, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know if you prefer ricotta cheese or cottage cheese in your lasagna. All right, let's get cooking. I'm starting by preheating my oven to 400 degrees. I have 1 pound of 96% extra lean ground beef that I'm gonna cook up until it's just fully cooked. I like bigger chunks of beef, so I don't break it up a whole lot, but feel free to break it up into smaller pieces if that's the way you like it. Once it's cooked, I drain off whatever grease is left and get the ground beef back into the pan. There usually isn't much grease from extra lean ground beef. To the beef, I'm adding the equivalent of 2 cloves of minced garlic. I use a garlic paste because the less chopping I have to do, the better. I mix that in and add a ½ teaspoon of salt. This is my favorite part. I add ½ cup of red wine. There's just something about the sound of a pan deglazing that makes anything you cook seem fancier. I'm using Cabernet Sauvignon, but you can use whatever red wine you have. If you don't have any wine, you can use beef stock. I let this reduce for about 5 minutes. That ensures that the alcohol is cooked out and it infuses the meat with the flavor of the wine or stock. Don't forget to scrape up any remaining bits on the bottom of the pan. That's just little concentrated bits of flavor. Next, I'm adding about 2 or 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I get that stirred in. Then in goes a jar of marinara sauce. I'm using a 0-point marinara sauce that we make in the Instant Pot, but you can use whatever sauce you want. There are a few retail sauces out there that are 0 points, or you can just add in tomato sauce. Just make sure that you adjust your WW recipe builder to reflect the sauce that you use. I will fully admit that I definitely didn't add enough sauce, though you'll see later that it still turns out perfectly, and my family loved that it wasn't drowning in sauce. This will need to simmer on low for about 10 to 15 minutes. I give it the occasional stir to make sure nothing is burning. On to the cheese layer. In a medium-sized bowl, add 2 cups of fat-free cottage cheese, 2 eggs or 6 tablespoons of egg whites, ½ cup of reduced fat Parmesan cheese, and 2 tablespoons of parsley or whatever herbs you want. Give it a good stir and set it aside. Don't worry if it's a little runny, I promise it'll be fine. Now let's get this lasagna built. For my noodles, I'm using an 8-ounce box of no-boil lasagna noodles. The moisture from the meat sauce and cheese mixture will cook the noodles right in the oven. I'm using a 9x13 pan and I spray it well with cooking spray. Trust me, this only works if you get the no-boil noodles. Using this method with regular uncooked lasagna noodles just makes a borderline inedible crunchy mess. You may actually be asked never to cook again. If you do want to use regular lasagna noodles, just half cook them first, then assemble your lasagna. This lasagna uses 3 layers of noodles, so I do my best to evenly divide the noodles. It's me, so obviously I didn't do it evenly, but that's okay. I'm starting with a layer of noodles on the bottom of the pan. Then I add 1/3 of my meat sauce and spread it out as best as I can. And 1/3 of my cheese mixture, doing my best to spread it out evenly. Next comes the cheese layer. For my cheese layer, I'm using thinly sliced reduced fat provolone cheese. I tear each slice of cheese in half, and I end up using 3.5 slices of cheese per layer. For the next layer, I lay out my noodles, then 1/3 of my meat sauce, 1/3 of my cheese mixture, and another 3.5 slices of provolone. For my final layer, I switch things up a bit. I lay out the remainder of my noodles, then the rest of my cheese mixture, then the rest of my meat sauce. I top the lasagna with 3 slices of provolone cheese and a 1/2 cup of part skim shredded mozzarella cheese. Cover with foil and bake for 35 minutes. Once the timer goes off, remove the foil and bake uncovered for another 10 minutes. Then let the lasagna rest for 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want it to fall apart when you're trying to remove it from the pan, and doing this helps everything kind of stay together. I divide my lasagna into 6 large pieces, and each piece is 12 points on all WW plans using the ingredients I used. It may not be the prettiest lasagna, or even the most technically correct lasagna. It is just super easy. It is essentially a throw together lasagna. While one thing is cooking, you're working on another thing, you throw those things together, you don't care if you put them in the right order, it still comes out great every single time. So I hope you give this recipe a try. If you do, leave in the comments below if you liked it. I'm curious if everyone else likes it as much as we do. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I would really appreciate it if you went and liked this video, because it really helps YouTube get this video and my other videos out to new people so we can grow our community. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye!